Start with why, because everything great begins with a reason. When we wake up in the morning and we are clear about why we do what we do, the day feels different. The challenges may still come, but they don't overwhelm us, because we understand that the struggle is serving something bigger than the struggle itself. People often focus so much on what they do or how they do it that they forget the most important part, why they started in the first place. Without a why, the work is just tasks, the goals are just numbers, and the victories feel hollow. With a why, however, every moment is infused with meaning. Imagine two people building a wall. One is simply laying bricks, tired and uninspired. The other believes he is building a cathedral, something that will stand for centuries, inspiring generations long after he is gone. Both are doing the same work, but one is alive with purpose, and the other is just working to get through the day. That is the difference a why makes. It transforms ordinary actions into extraordinary contributions. When we lead with why, we inspire others to follow not because they have to, but because they want to. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. If your why resonates with their values, they feel connected, they feel understood, and they willingly become part of your journey. Think of any movement, any revolution, any innovation that changed the world. It didn't begin with a product, it began with a belief. It didn't start with a plan, it started with a conviction. People followed because they believed in the why. This is true in business, in leadership, in families, and in personal life. A why is the spark that ignites passion, commitment, and loyalty. But finding your why requires honesty. It's not about what sounds good or looks impressive to others. It's about what is deeply true to you, even if it is messy, even if it is not glamorous. Your why is rarely about money or recognition. It's about contribution, service, impact. And the beautiful part is that your why never changes. The way you live it out may change, the roles you take on may change, the methods may evolve, but the core why remains. It becomes your compass in a world full of distractions, guiding you back whenever you lose your way. The danger of forgetting your why is that you start chasing success without substance. You get busy, but not fulfilled. You achieve, but you don't feel alive. That is why we must pause, reflect, and realign. Ask yourself, why am I here? Why am I doing this? Why does this matter? The answer will fuel your resilience in hard times and magnify your joy in good times. Because when you know your why, you don't just survive the journey. You make the journey worth taking for yourself and for everyone who chooses to walk with you. Courage over comfort is the choice that defines growth. Every single one of us faces moments where we must decide whether to stay in what feels safe or to step into the unknown. The comfortable path tempts us with ease, predictability, and less risk, but it also keeps us exactly where we are. Comfort never created change. Comfort never built greatness. It is courage that moves the needle forward, courage that demands we lean into fear, and courage that allows us to see what is possible beyond the limits of what we know. The truth is, courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to act even while fear whispers in your ear. Fear will always try to keep you in place, convincing you that the risk is too high or the failure too embarrassing. But courage is the voice that says move anyway, because the greater danger is remaining stuck. Think about the people we admire, the innovators, the leaders, the dreamers who changed the world. None of them found their breakthroughs sitting comfortably. They stood on uncertain ground, often ridiculed, doubted, and even opposed. Yet they chose courage not once, but again and again, until their persistence carved the path others could follow. Courage means raising your hand when silence feels safer. It means speaking truth when lies are easier. It means taking the first step when the destination is not guaranteed. Each act of courage chips away at the walls of comfort that limit not only us, but everyone who looks to us for inspiration. Discomfort is not punishment, it is the birthplace of growth. Muscles grow when they are stretched and stressed, not when they are left idle. Minds expand when they are challenged, not when they are protected. Hearts strengthen when they endure struggle, not when they are shielded. To choose courage over comfort is to understand that discomfort is not something to fear, but something to embrace. Every stumble teaches resilience. Every failure reveals a lesson. Every rejection clarifies direction. Courage transforms obstacles into stepping stones. What makes courage difficult is that it often looks lonely. Choosing comfort may allow you to blend in, but courage sets you apart. It requires being willing to walk a path others may not yet understand. But the paradox is this: when you choose courage, you create a space for others to do the same. Your bravery becomes contagious. Your willingness to risk comfort inspires those around you to reconsider their own limitations. In that way, courage is not only personal, it is profoundly communal. At the end of the day, the comfort you cling to will fade, but the courage you exercised will remain. Comfort gives temporary relief. Courage builds permanent change. Every opportunity to choose courage is an invitation to step closer to your potential, closer to the life you are meant to live, closer to the impact you are meant to make. The question is never whether fear will be present. The question is always, will you let it keep you comfortable, or will you let courage carry you forward? The infinite mindset is a way of looking at life, work, and leadership that changes everything. Too often we treat life like a race with a finish line, as if there is some moment when we can finally declare we have arrived, that we have won, that the work is complete. But life does not work that way. There is no ultimate trophy, no final victory that secures our worth forever. The world keeps moving, challenges keep evolving, and the game keeps going. The infinite mindset understands this truth. The goal is not to win, the goal is to keep playing, to keep growing, and to keep contributing. When we focus on playing an infinite game, we stop obsessing over short-term wins and start investing in long-term impact. A company that thinks only about quarterly profits may achieve success for a season, but eventually it crumbles because it sacrificed trust, loyalty, and purpose for temporary numbers. A leader who seeks only to climb higher for personal glory may gain recognition for a moment, but they fail to build something that lasts beyond them. The infinite mindset asks us to think differently. It asks us to play for legacy, not applause, to measure progress not in days or months, but in years and generations. The beauty of the infinite mindset is that it shifts the focus from beating others to becoming better ourselves. In a finite game, success is about comparison. Who is richer, stronger, faster, more powerful? But in an infinite game, success is about consistency, endurance, and growth. The only competitor that matters is the version of yourself from yesterday. Did you learn more? Did you serve more? Did you give more? That is the real scorecard. When we embrace this mindset, we find freedom from envy and rivalry because we understand that everyone is on their own journey. We are not here to outdo others. We are here to outdo ourselves. Of course, an infinite mindset requires patience and resilience. It means planting seeds we may never see grow, making sacrifices for results we may never fully enjoy. It means accepting that progress is not always visible, but it is always happening. Farmers don't dig up seeds every day to check on them. They trust the process. Likewise, we must commit to the process of growth, knowing that over time consistency compounds. The greatest leaders, innovators, and change-makers think infinitely. They build organizations that last beyond their lifetimes. They mentor people who will carry the torch long after they are gone. They create cultures that endure beyond a single generation. They are not obsessed with being the best for now. They are committed to being relevant for always. Invitation, the init inni, it infinite, pray with clority or kina. It how gives to each of us, a chasing quick wins and start building lasting value. To stop asking how we can win today and start asking how we can make sure we are still playing tomorrow. Because the real victory is not at the finish line. It is in having the courage to keep running the race without one. Leadership is not about power. It is about responsibility. Too many confuse leadership with authority, as if the measure of a leader is how many people listen to them or how much control they can exert. True leadership is something entirely different. It is not about being in charge, it is about taking care of those in your charge. The strongest leaders are not the ones who demand respect, but the ones who earn it by putting the needs of others above their own. They create environments where people feel safe, valued, and trusted, and in that safety, performance and creativity naturally thrive. When leaders choose to eat last, it is not just a metaphor, it is a demonstration of selflessness. It is saying, I will ensure that you are taken care of before I take care of myself. In the military, leaders literally eat last, ensuring their teams are nourished before they touch their own meals. That act of sacrifice builds trust, because it shows that leadership is not a privilege, it is a burden willingly carried for the benefit of others. And when people feel that kind of protection, they do not just comply, they commit. They do not just show up to do a job, they show up to give their best, because they know someone has their back. A true leader is not measured in the times of ease, but in the times of crisis. When things fall apart, the leader does not point fingers or shift blame. They step forward and accept responsibility. They shield their team from unnecessary harm and provide clarity in chaos. Leadership is tested in the fire of difficulty, and those who lead well in hard times earn loyalty that no title or paycheck could ever buy. People remember how their leaders made them feel when everything was uncertain. But leadership also requires humility. It is not about being the smartest person in the room. It is about creating a room where the smartest ideas can come alive, regardless of who voices them. The leader is a steward of trust, not the source of all answers. They recognize that success is never theirs alone, but belongs to the team, and they willingly share the credit while absorbing the blame. That kind of humility does not weaken authority. It strengthens it. When leaders eat last, they set an example that spreads far beyond their own influence. They teach others that leadership is not a ladder to climb, but a responsibility to embrace. They remind us that the true purpose of leadership is not to gain more followers, but to create more leaders. And that is the legacy that matters. At the end of the day, no one remembers how many people reported to you or how many titles you held. What they remember is how you treated them, how you made them feel, and how you inspired them to rise. Real leadership is service, and service is the mark of greatness. Trust and empathy are the foundations on which strong relationships, resilient teams, and meaningful success are built. Without them, performance becomes fragile, connections become shallow, and progress stalls. Many people think results come from pressure, fear, or constant demand, but the truth is the opposite. People do not thrive under fear, they shut down. They may comply for a while, but compliance is not the same as commitment. Trust and empathy unlock commitment. When people feel seen, valued, and understood, they willingly give their best, not because they have to, but because they want to. Trust is not granted by a title or position, it is earned through consistency. It is built in small actions, in promises kept, in words matched by deeds. One broken commitment can shatter months of effort, while one act of integrity can strengthen the bond for years. A leader who says, "I will support you," and then does so even when it is inconvenient, creates loyalty that no bonus or reward could ever buy. But trust cannot be demanded, it cannot be forced. It grows only when people see evidence that you mean what you say, and that your actions align with your words. Empathy is just as vital. It is the ability to step into someone else's shoes, to see not only their work but their humanity. Too often in fast-moving environments, people are treated as tools for productivity rather than as human beings with struggles, hopes, and dreams. Empathy reminds us that behind every role is a person, and when we treat them as such, their performance improves not because we pushed harder, but because they felt supported. A workplace without empathy may hit short, short-term goals, but it burns people out. A culture with empathy may move more slowly at first, but it becomes unstoppable because its people remain motivated, creative, and committed. The combination of trust and empathy creates an environment where innovation flourishes. People take risks when they know they will not be punished for failing. They speak up when they know their voices matter. They collaborate when they feel respected. This is why the best teams are not those with the most talent, but those with the most trust. A team of average skill but high trust will outperform a team of geniuses who don't trust one another. Trust multiplies effort, empathy deepens connection, and together they unleash potential. The truth is, we all crave trust and empathy in our own lives. We want to know someone will keep their word. We want to feel that someone understands us, not just our output, but our struggles. When we give to others what we most desire ourselves, we build bonds that go beyond transactions. At the end of the day, success measured only in numbers fades quickly, but success measured in trust and empathy creates legacies. Because people never forget how you made them feel. And it is those feelings that drive them to build, to grow, and to stay. Legacy through service is the truest measure of a life well lived. Success, wealth, and recognition may come and go, but the impact we have on others endures long after we are gone. Too often people chase status, chasing titles and applause, thinking that is what defines greatness. But those things fade with time. What lasts is how many lives we touched, how many people we helped, and how much better we left the world than we found it. Service is not weakness, it is strength. It is the quiet act of putting others before ourselves, of lifting someone else even when it requires sacrifice, and of giving without expecting anything in return. The paradox is that service does not diminish us. It elevates us. When we dedicate ourselves to the success of others, we find a deeper meaning than we could ever discover by serving only ourselves. A leader who spends their energy building up their team, ensuring others have the resources and support to thrive, creates a ripple effect that expands far beyond their immediate reach. A mentor who invests in the growth of one person may indirectly shape hundreds of lives through the impact that one individual goes on to create. Service multiplies. What seems small in the moment can echo for generations, but service requires humility. It asks us to set aside our egos, to remember that leadership and influence are not about being seen, but about seeing others. It means listening more than speaking, caring more than commanding, and prioritizing people over recognition. True service rarely comes with applause. Often it is unnoticed, unglamorous, and quiet. Yet it is in those unseen moments of kindness and sacrifice that legacies are built. A single word of encouragement might give someone the courage to keep going. A single act of generosity might change the course of someone's life. When we look back at the end of our lives, the question will not be how much we achieved for ourselves, but how deeply we served others. Did we inspire trust? Did we offer compassion? Did we create opportunities for those who came after us? Titles will not matter. Trophies will collect dust, and records will be broken. What will endure is the memory of how we used our influence to lift others. That is the difference between success and significance. Success is what we gain. Significance is what we give. Service is not reserved for leaders or those with power. Every single person has the ability to serve where they are with what they have. Whether through time, encouragement, guidance, or sacrifice, we all can leave behind something bigger than ourselves. Legacy is not written in stone monuments. It is written in human hearts. The world may not remember your name, but it will remember your impact. To live a life of service is to choose significance over status, impact over ego, and contribution over comfort. And that choice creates a legacy no one can erase.